There is a cheese that costs $200 per pound, and it's not even made from rare animals or infused with gold. It's just goat cheese. So how does something so common become so expensive? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to find out how artisanal goat cheese became one of the most expensive foods in the world. Artisanal goat cheese is made by small producers who make their cheese by hand using traditional methods passed down through generations. This results in a product that is very high quality and often has unique characteristics that cannot be found in mass-produced goat cheeses. The process of making this cheese is labor-intensive and requires a lot of skill and expertise. This is because the quality of the final product depends on many factors, such as the type of goat milk used, the aging process, and the environment in which the cheese is stored. These small producers often use milk from goats that are fed on small family farms, which means that the milk is often more nutrient-rich and flavorful than what can be found in supermarkets. In addition, artisanal cheesemakers do not use any artificial preservatives or additives, which makes their product more perishable, but also more authentic and natural. The aging process is also a crucial part of making artisanal goat cheese. Many of these cheeses are aged for months or even years, which requires specialized equipment and knowledge to ensure that the cheese is stored properly and develops the desired texture and flavor. Finally, the environment in which the cheese is stored can also have a major impact on its final quality. Artisanal cheesemakers often store their cheeses in caves or cellars, where the temperature and humidity are carefully controlled to ensure that the cheese ages properly. Overall, the labor-intensiveness of making artisanal goat cheese contributes to its high price tag. The time and expertise required to make this cheese by hand means that it simply costs more to produce than mass-produced alternatives. However, for those who appreciate the unique flavor and quality of artisanal goat cheese, the price is well worth it. Before we get into why this cheese is so expensive, let's take a quick look at its history. Goat cheese has been around for thousands of years, dating back to ancient Greece. In fact, goat milk was domesticated before cow milk, and goat cheese was an important part of the diet for many ancient civilizations. During the Middle Ages, goat cheese making was an important cottage industry in many European countries. Most people kept a few goats for their milk, which they then turned into cheese. Goat cheese was a staple of the diet for poor people who could not afford meat. They were also popular among the upper classes because they were seen as a delicacy. The invention of modern pasteurization methods in the 19th century made it possible to produce goat cheese on a larger scale. However, artisanal goat cheese makers continued to use traditional methods to produce their cheese, resulting in products that were highly sought after by gourmets. In recent decades, there has been a growing appreciation for artisanal goat cheese, as consumers become more interested in locally sourced and handcrafted products. The demand for this cheese has increased. This has led to a surge in the popularity of cheese boards and wine and cheese pairings. as well as an increase in the number of specialty cheese shops and restaurants that feature goat cheese on their menus. So now that we know a little bit about the history of goat cheese, let's talk about what makes artisanal goat cheese so expensive. One of the main reasons why artisanal goat cheese is so expensive is because of the cost of production. As we mentioned earlier, the production of artisanal goat cheese is labor-intensive and requires a lot of skill and expertise. This means that the cheesemakers have to charge a premium price to cover their costs and make a profit. In addition to the cost of production, the rarity of some of these cheeses also contributes to their high price tag. Many artisanal goat cheese makers use milk from rare breeds of goats that are difficult to find. For example, the Swiss mountain goat is a rare breed that is only found in the Alps. Its milk is used to make a cheese that is highly prized by cheese connoisseurs, but it is also very expensive because of its rarity. The aging process is another reason why artisanal goat cheese is so expensive. As we mentioned earlier, many of these cheeses are aged for months or even years, which requires specialized equipment and knowledge. In addition, the cost of storing the cheese properly during the aging process can also be quite high. For example, some cheesemakers store their cheese in temperature and humidity-controlled rooms, which can add to the overall cost of production. Another reason why artisanal goat cheese is so expensive is because of the demand. As we mentioned earlier, there has been a growing appreciation for artisanal goat cheese in recent decades. This has led to an increase in demand, which has driven up the price. In addition, the popularity of goat cheese as a gourmet food item has also contributed to its high price tag. Goat cheese is often served in fine restaurants and is a popular choice for wine and cheese pairings. This has given the cheese a reputation as a luxury food item, which has led to higher prices. But perhaps the most important factor contributing to the high price of artisanal goat cheese is the limited supply. Because of the labor-intensiveness and rarity of some of these cheeses, the supply is simply unable to keep up with demand. This is especially true for the most highly prized and sought-after varieties of goat cheese. The limited supply keeps prices high and ensures that only those who are willing to pay the premium price can enjoy these cheeses. Overall, the combination of high production costs, rarity, aging requirements, and limited supply all contribute to the high price tag of artisanal goat cheese. While it may be expensive, it is also a truly unique and delicious product that is well worth the price for many cheese lovers. Speaking of the best cheese, have you ever heard of the most expensive cheese in the world? It's called pure cheese and it costs $700 per pound. But it's not because it's made with gold or platinum, it's because of where it comes from. Pure cheese is made from the milk of the Balkan donkey, which is a rare breed of donkey that is found only in the mountains of Serbia. The Balkan donkey is known for its sure-footedness and agility, and it is able to survive in the harsh mountain environment where it lives. The milk of the Balkan donkey is also very unusual. It is said to be extremely difficult to collect because the donkeys only produce a small amount of milk each day. In addition, the milk has a very high fat content, which makes it ideal for making cheese. The process of making pure cheese is also very labor-intensive. The cheese must be made by hand using traditional methods, and it takes several weeks to make a single batch. The cheese is aged for at least 6 months, and it is said to have a very unique and complex flavor. Overall, the combination of the rarity of the ingredients, the labor-intensiveness of the process, and the unique flavor of the cheese make it one of the most expensive cheeses in the world. So if you ever get the chance to try pure cheese, be sure to do it. You will never forget it. And now it's time to make a big announcement. We've decided to change the name of our channel to reflect our new focus on food. So please welcome us to the world of culinary delights and gastronomic adventures. We hope that you, LL, join us on this exciting journey as we explore the world of food together. Thank you for being a part of our story, and we look forward to sharing many more delicious moments with you. Now, let's get back to the video. Artisanal goat cheese is made from the milk of goats that are typically grass-fed and free-range, meaning that their diet is more varied and nutrient-rich than what you might find in a typical grocery store. These goats are often raised on small family farms where they have access to fresh air, sunshine, and plenty of space to roam. This results in a goat milk that is higher in fat and protein content and has a more complex flavor profile than what can be found in mass-produced goat milk. Additionally, many artisanal cheesemakers use the whole goat milk, including the cream, which further enhances the flavor and texture of the cheese. The aging process is another key factor that contributes to the unique qualities of artisanal goat cheese. Unlike many commercially produced goat cheeses that are consumed fresh, artisanal goat cheese is often aged for months or even years. This allows the flavors to develop and mature, resulting in a more complex and nuanced taste. During the aging process, enzymes and bacteria break down the proteins and fats in the cheese, which gives it a smoother and creamier texture. Some artisanal goat cheese makers also use special techniques such as washing the cheese rinds or injecting the cheese with bacteria cultures to further enhance the flavor and texture of their cheese. Overall, the combination of high-quality goat milk, traditional cheese-making techniques, and a long aging process results in an end product that is simply not comparable to mass-produced goat cheese. Artisanal goat cheese has a unique flavor profile that is often described as tangy, creamy, and slightly earthy. The texture can vary depending on the aging process, but is often firm and dense with a smooth and creamy interior. The taste is complex and can have notes of grass, nuts, mushrooms, and even some pharmaceutical aspects. Compared to mass-produced goat cheese, artisanal goat cheese is often more pungent and has a stronger personality. In contrast, mass-produced goat cheese tends to have a milder flavor and a more uniform texture. If you're a cheese lover, be sure to check out our other videos on the most expensive foods in the world. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time.